So till now we have learned about the forward market in which two parties are coming together, entering into a contract, they are customizing the contract, they are facing certain kind of risk. Now let us say there is a commodity and stock exchange in which there is a contract on 1000 kg apples which is existing in the market or which is trading in the market. So this is an exchange traded contract. That means this contract is traded on an exchange. So let's say the wholesaler is buying this particular contract or he is taking the position of a long. That means he is interested to buy this particular apple. And then the farmer is selling this particular contract or he is taking the position of a short. That means he is going to sell the apples. Now over here, the farmer and the wholesaler are not able to customize the terms and conditions of the contract. This 1000 kg is given by the exchange. The price is determined by the market. The exchange will say that, let's say this contract is settling on 31st of March. The buyer and the seller or the long and short cannot decide on these terms and conditions. So these particular contracts are standardized. So these are not customized and not customized. So these parties cannot decide on the terms and conditions. They cannot decide what will be the quality, what will be the delivery, what will be the quantity of the apples, what will be the underlying. So the contracts are already given by the exchange. You can only decide whether you want to become the buyer of the underlying or seller of the underlying. Other features, the calculating of the profit and loss, the settlement, whether it is physical settlement or cash settlement, everything else is going to remain the same. This transaction will also happen on a later date. It is going to happen on 31st of March, and let us say today is on the 1st of March. So even this transaction is going to happen on a later date. Instead of calling it a forward contract, because it is an exchange traded contract, we will call it a futures contract. The price is also given to you. It is the price that is decided by the market. You also cannot decide the price. You can only decide whether you want to buy this contract at this particular price. If you feel that this price is not suitable for you, you will obviously not go and buy or sell this particular contract. So in futures contract, all the terms are set by the exchange. The price is set by the market forces of demand and supply. It's a standardized contract. It is easily tradable. Now, whoever wants can become the buyer of this particular contract and become the seller of this particular contract. And if later on they want to exit the contract, they can also exit the contract. I'll show you how that is done. But for now, you just have to understand that you can easily trade on this contract. That means you can even pass it on to somebody else. So Mr. A can pass on this particular contract to Mr. B. It is easily tradable, so there is no liquidity risk because you can easily enter and exit any particular contracts. The exchange or the clearing house ensures that the parties will not default on the obligation. So if the farmer has promised to sell, then he will definitely sell. If the wholesaler has promised to buy, he will definitely buy. The exchange or the clearing house is going to ensure. So in short, these parties are not going to face default risk. So if you remember, in forward we had liquidity risk, but in futures we do not have liquidity risk. In forwards we were having settlement or let's say credit risk or default risk, but in futures we do not have credit risk and default risk as well. The price risk is going to remain because the contract price and the price on settlement can be different. So price risk still exists, but the other two risks are totally removed. Now these contracts are usually cash settled. Physical settlement is very, very rare. Now, just for your knowledge or for your information, the seller, he gets to decide whether he wants to do cash settlement or physical settlement. If the seller decides that he has to do physical settlement, then the exchange will find a counterparty for him. The buyer cannot decide whether he wants to do a physical settlement or not. Only the seller can decide whether he wants to physically deliver the underlying.